Android Studio.
I was like, no, I have to download more stuff.
Now, just to show you where we're headed.
They really need to get Phoenix this year.
For one thing, I don't know how to spell.
See the text to speech.
Not for you.
I need Kleenex.
So we're going to text to speech. That's one thing. And then down here is random numbers. The assignment is going to be to create an app that has two text views on here and buttons down here. And when you click the button, it'll give you brand new numbers. Then you'll have a blank down here where you'll fill in the answer. And then the text to speech will tell you you got it correct, or it'll tell you 1 plus 2 should equal this type of deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's essentially so we're doing two random numbers, and then what we're gonna be like adding them, and if we enter the right number, it tells us we're correct. But if we don't enter that one, it tells you
what the answer should be.
Yeah. Okay. My fingers.
And how you can do that is down here. Text for here it is. The variable that we're doing that with is text to speech.
Okay.
So, for example, if I had num1 equals 3, num2 is equal to 5, and text to speech is equal to, and we need to convert those to strings. If I can do that, integer dot to string of num1 plus, and then plus integer dot to string num2 plus is. Now just show you what that sounds like. Oh, it doesn't like something. Text to speech expression expected. Get text to string. Oh, data. There we go. So that should take 3 plus 5 is when I run it. I can put anything here. Does that make sense? And you could then, over here, you'd need to convert it, integer to string. But you simply put in num1 plus num2. This'll, what in the world's that there for? I.
What we need to do for every number, or is there a way?
Go away. It's already a number. It probably will work. Oh. We need to do it for every number.
Yeah. Because you did 3 and 5.
Oh no, you'll get this from the from what your random numbers are. So that you won't do it for every number. So it automatically adds it.
What if it was just like 3 plus 5 is 3 plus 5?
It would if I converted them to string over there. Probably. When I say the random numbers, we'll see how to do that. See how I get num1 and num2 down here? So you won't hard code it. Okay.
Or a lot of imports.
It's easy. Shouldn't take you 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds at most.
10 seconds at most. We got our import Android speech, TTS, text to speech, and our intent and so forth. Don't worry about that too much. We got some values here. Again, don't worry about this too much. Up here, we declare text to speech. And it's of this type. It's a text to speech. Probably been better if I had. I sold part of the software tutorial. Part of it I modified. Probably been better if I had modified this. This is coming in from the edit text. So over here, we have an edit text. You can see how that's called ed text to speech. So that's where this is coming in from. And specifically, we pull it in right somewhere. That is interesting. Specifically, we pull it in right here and assign it to this variable. Then down here, this is where we make sure that everything's set up correctly. Start the activity. You got to start the text to speech engine. So that's what that's going through and checking. Down here, this code just is all default. If you don't have that currently installed in your app, then it installs it automatically with this. Now here's where the main part of it is. The on init. That's where you're initializing it. This checks to make sure that you have text to speech. Sets language. A lot of this could even just disappear.
When you say it could disappear, that means it's not necessary, or we do.
It's checking to see if it fails. Well, if it fails, it's not going to work anyway. So it's kind of, like if you got an old API in your phone, it's right. So let me get rid of all that. Clean this up. There we go. So here's really the meat of it.
So you're going to print this out and we're going to collaborate and see if we can make it? Or...
You can collaborate. Yeah, definitely. This is already on Blackboard, though. That's what I say. It'd take you 10 seconds to edit, copy, and edit, paste in your main activity.
Oh, it's in the lab.
Yeah.
Anyone else wants to take pictures for that?
This line isn't. That's probably the only thing that you'll need to figure out how to put in.
Is the data equals
Integer dot toString of num1 plus num2.
So, it says that integer num1 and then integer num2,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, would we do like integer num1 equals the text box?
No, but I will show it in a second. And then this does the main thing. This speaks. Now you're asking about the random part. Where you get the random numbers at is it's generated with this. So you won't hard code num1, you'll use the lines of code down here. So if you move these lines of code up here and you replace that with this, then this is what you need.
So we just replace the two integers with that stuff down
Right.
there. With
Now-
all of that, like integer num1, num2, max, minimum.
Uh-huh. Now what this does is returns a random number between 1 and 10, integer-wise. Don't worry too much about this code. This is standard code in any programming language. I had to Google it myself this morning because I didn't remember what it was. I knew there was a max and min and so forth, but math.random, if you're real curious, returns a random number between 0 and 1, decimal-wise. And then 10 minus 1 is 9, so multiplies it times 9. And then you add your min, and somehow once you change that to integer, it works. I'd have to really think about it. It's too early in the morning for me to think about it that hard. So, for example, here, I would want when I click the button random, that'll assign it to these T1 and T2, won't it? Up here, if I wanted to say the answer, I would need to retrieve T1 and T2.
And then process this. Right.
It's like here, if I copy this and paste it up here, and I can put this new updated code, assuming it works, since I deleted a whole bunch. If I put those up there, then num1 is going to equal to integer dot parseInt of t1 dot get text dot toString, and num2 is going to equal to integer dot parseInt t2 dot get text dot toString. And I no longer have this hard-coded. So then, okay, got my random numbers, 8 and 4 there. I click that.
So then what would be the purpose of the text box?
The text box is kind of a check. They'll input what they think the answer is. It's kind of like a tutorial. You're teaching somebody the app. They put the number in there, and then you check to see if that number is correct. If it's correct, then you say something like "good job." If it's not correct, you say what I just have right there. Now let me see if there's anything else I can clean up, and then I'll put an updated version of this up there. This is the install part. I wouldn't want to touch it. This starts the activity. I wouldn't want. screw with that, because when you do the button click down here, it initiates this code down here. So I think everything else is pretty standard. Now I will tell you how to import this in. Let's see. Notepad. Save. New text to speech. I hate Blackboard. There it goes. New text to speech. So make sure you grab the one that says new. Documents. New text to speech. Okay, so it's this one here. If you click that, it'll bring the code up. And you can just edit, copy this, and paste it in. The assumption is, though, that you named your project the same as mine. See how that says speak randomly?
Yeah.
You don't want to probably copy this first line of code. And you don't want to get rid of your first line of code in your main activity. So if you copy everything down from that and paste that in, leaving your first line, you'll be fine. Second thing that's assuming, and you can change this, but I'm assuming you named your edit box as ed_text to speech. If you didn't, you need to change that to whatever you named it as. Kind of same down here. See how I called these TV_num1, TV_num2?
Yes.
You need to change that to whatever yours is called.
Okay.
And if you name it that, then you don't change anything.
So what are we going to be adding to this? We need to add in the checking and what they entered is right.
Right. Like, let me go ahead and close this, and I'll start a new project and show you what I'm envisioning. Close project.
That's way better.
Okay, so what I'm envisioning is up here, you have two text views. Okay, 4 text views. And this right here, whatever. Change the wrong place. Should be here. Number 1. Number 2. These won't be hard coded, but this will give you an example. These will change the numbers. 3 plus 5. And then we'll have another text text to blank where you'll put in what you think the answer is. And then you'll have buttons. This button will be give you a new problem. This one will check. So I come into my app here. I click new problem here. It should change these two numbers. I'll type in my number I think the answer is right here. And then I'll click this check button. If you get it right, it says you did a fantastic job or whatever you want to say. If it gets it wrong, it should say 3 plus 5 is 8 or whatever your numbers are. Does that make sense of what I'm looking for on the interface now?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, we'll do that button, we'll check to see.
If it's right or wrong.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to envision how to do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me go get the laptops.